Welcome to day 7 of the 30-day AI Automation Pro Challenge. The challenge where you become an AI pro in just 30 days, even if you start as a complete beginner. Yesterday, in day 6, you got your own domain. The day before, you set up your own cloud server. And today, in day 7, we bring everything together and we will build a website with the help of ChatGPT. We will host it on your own server and we will deploy it to the domain you bought yesterday. Why are we doing that? Why am I teaching you that? Very simple. For the sake of the 30-day AI Automation Pro Challenge, I came up with the idea for a very first project to teach you everything you need to know. And my idea is to build a website of an imaginary yacht company, and on that website there will be a yacht configurator so that visitors can configure a yacht, and in the end they receive a nice looking image of the yacht together with the stats and the logo, and all that will be done with the website we built today. But in the back end there will be n8n workflows running and also a Python app. No worries, you learn about all that step by step, but I will teach you at that very first example project how everything works together so that you learn the full stack. And I can already tell you that you need to know about websites in general, how to build them with ChatGPT, how to deploy them, and of course how to integrate n8n to a website. Because of that, this chapter today is also very, very important, because once you understand how to deploy a website and then how to connect it to n8n, this is a super powerful skill. So what are we doing now? I will show you now how I write prompts for ChatGPT that deliver me the entire HTML code of a website. HTML is basically the language in which websites are written, the code, so to speak. But no worries, you don't have to understand anything about that website code. All you have to understand is how to instruct ChatGPT to give you such a code. And then I will show you step by step what you need to do with that code to finally deploy the website on your own server and to your own domain. With that being said, let's get started. All right, as I already said, ChatGPT will do the entire work for us. We just have to instruct ChatGPT. And because of that, I show you now the prompt that I wrote to get the website that we want to build for the imaginary yacht company. So here in that PDF, you already see the entire prompt that I wrote to create our website, or better, to make ChatGPT create our website. And I will walk you now step by step to the entire prompt so that you understand how I instruct ChatGPT, what I tell it, and that you can also adapt such a prompt to whatever website you want to build. Because I want you really to understand this. You learn here how to create any website you want, not just for the example that I teach you, but you can easily adapt that to anything you want to build. For example, I built my very own website for my AI automation agency, also exactly with that method within 1 hour. It is super easy, so pay attention, let's go through it. All right, of course, we start at the very beginning with the overall goal. I need you to create a world-class HTML website for me. The website will be used for demo purposes within a video course, but that shouldn't be noticeable at all. Create a completely real-looking modern HTML-based website. Of course, you wouldn't include that sentence here with the demo purposes, etc. I just included that so that ChatGPT knows when remembering everything I did that this was for a video course and not a real project. But it doesn't make any difference. So up here, we already have the goal, what we want to achieve. And then I followed up here by describing exactly what I want to see on the website. 1. The header menu. Left side, the company logo. Right side, 2 links linking to the corresponding section on the one-pager website. About and yacht calculator. And this is the typical structure for the website, right? You have the logo on the top left and then you have a menu on the right side. Then we come to 2, the hero section. Title, Rosalia Yachting. Subtitle, Dominate the Sea with our mega yachts. Include a big beautiful image of an elegant mega yacht provided in the assets folder as yacht.jpg. Include 2 buttons, design your dream yacht and contact us. Make the hero section already stand out and look fantastic. And you probably know what a hero section is. Whatever website you come to, there's always this big first part of the website with a title, with buttons, with an image. This is called the hero section. And of course, we also want that for our yacht website. Then we come to the about About section. Fill that section with imaginary information about an imaginary yacht producer called Rosalia Yachting. It's a producer of exclusive custom mega yachts. Just make everything look and sound reasonable for the industry. Make also the section look good and elegant, work with high quality minimalistic design elements. And here you get the idea. I create just an example website, but if you would create your own website, you would just fill in here your company information, what your company is all about, etc. But for the sake of the tutorial, I just want ChatGPT to make up random information about the company. Then we come to 4, the Yacht Creator section. And this is the most important section because this is why we actually do the entire thing. This is where a visitor can create his own dream yacht. We need here the following buttons, selections that get sampled via a form. The name of the yacht, the visual description of the yacht, the length in meters, selectable 10, 15, 25, 35, a selection if the user wishes to enable the Turbo Sport package, and the customer's name and the customer's email address. And I think now it clicks. Remember, the very first N8N workflow we built, we already collected exactly these values with the pop-up form. But now we want to collect that with our website so that we then can send it in the next step over to our N8N workflow, and then everything comes together. Enable that a user can make a selection, and whatever the user submits with the form gets sent to the following webhook address. Enter here N8N webhook URL. Now we have the next thing we already heard about. Remember, in the IT and coding basics chapter, we learned about webhooks. A webhook is basically just like a post box where we send information to. This webhook URL is not existing yet, so I want ChatGPT to just write a placeholder, and then later we will switch it out with the actual webhook URL, and then we connect the website to N8N. Already prepare a nice looking window where an image of a yacht can be displayed, because we will use a N8N workflow to create an image of a yacht, and that image has to be displayed in the Yacht Creator as well, so the customer sees the yacht. So this is basically what we want to achieve in the end, that when the customer customizes the yacht, after a few seconds there will be the yacht together with a title, logo, etc. As soon as a user submits his selection, there should be a suitable spinner indicating that the yacht image gets created now, and the website has to start polling for an available image. This is also just a description for the functionality that we want, because when the user sends out the request to create the yacht, I just want something indicating that something is going on, right? You know that from typical user experiences on any website where you can do something. This is just how things should work. And then I also mentioned here the exact logic and wiring will be provided later. As I said, we don't have the webhook URL yet. This is not existing yet. I just want ChatGPT to already understand what kind of system we are building. Then we come to number 5, the imaginary contact section. With some imaginary contact possibilities, etc. Use this email, then my personal email, and for the phone, something random. Select also a random address in Miami. So I want to locate the imaginary yachting company, Rosalia Yachting in Miami. Important, the website has to look absolutely stunning and suitable for the luxury yacht industry. Make the design almost completely black, but if possible, give it a black marble shine and integrate some beige highlights as contrast color. So dark black with beige highlights is the design theme. Select a suitable font for the luxury industry that will work right away without having to install special fonts. Take as much time as you need and give me back the entire code of the index.html and main.javascript for the website. Separate HTML and JavaScript. All right, so here we have a lot in that last section. So what did I instruct here? First, I instructed it how the general design should look like. I want black and beige as the main colors, and I also want a font that looks elegant and will work right away without having me to provide a certain font file. I just want it to work right away. And then here in the end, I instructed it that I want two things. I want the HTML code of the website. So this is everything visible, the buttons and the colors and the images and also the text. And then I also want a JavaScript. And as you heard earlier, JavaScript is like Python for functionality. This just enables us to do all the actions on the website. For example, sending out the data to the n8n workflow, which we will connect later, or the spinner indicating that something is going, or also loading the image of the yacht as soon as it is created. Because of that, we need two things: the HTML code for the website and the main JavaScript. And this is it. This is the entire prompt that we will use to create the entire website in just one go. Hopefully. Most of the time we have to adjust some little details, but I will just show you how good that works with a one-shot example. Of course, I will provide you also the entire prompt so that you can just do that for yourself. So now I made a copy and I go over to ChatGPT. All right, here I am at ChatGPT. What are you working on? Of course, a world-class website of a yachting company. All right, so we paste in here the exact prompt that I just showed you. You see, it is exactly our prompt. And this is all I do now. Okay, so we paste it in and I send it out. And now it will probably take a couple of seconds, maybe half a minute, maybe a minute, we don't know. And after that, I will get back exactly the two things I requested: a HTML code for the website and also the JavaScript. All right, it is already done. It just took 10 seconds and now I get everything I requested. Awesome brief. I built you a sleek luxury grade one-pager with a dark black marble and beige theme, smooth anchors, and a fully wired Yacht Creator form that submits to your n8n webhook and then pulls for the generated image. Drop these two files into the same directory plus an assets folder containing yacht.jpg and you're set. So now it already told me where on my server, on your server, you have to locate the images so that they get loaded on the website. But no worries, this is the second step. First, I just wanted to create that, and then I will follow up with another prompt that will make sure that we can install the website on the server. So you see, this is still running. It is building the entire code for us. And as I said, you don't have to care about anything here because this is all done by ChatGPT. We just have to make this work for us. You see, it is quite a big code. So if we start up here, it is all the website code that we need. You see, I guess this is probably 500 lines of code or something. We will see. And then we have the main JavaScript. And this is the JavaScript that we need so that we have the functionality, that we can collect data, that we can send it over to n8n and so on. And here you already see something important: webhook URL, and you see it selected the placeholder. Enter here n8n webhook URL. So this is something that we have to adjust manually in the next step. And here you already see why you have to understand at least a little bit about the basics of IT and coding, because at one point you just have to go in here and switch that out. Of course, ChatGPT could also do that, but as I said, your life will get so much easier if you just know how to do things a little bit manually. All right, so let's check this out. Also, this is pretty long. It goes all the way down, and this is all the JavaScript that we need to get our website running. We will do the deployment of the website tomorrow, but before we end today, I want to show you one more important thing that you have to know if you want to work with code. I recommend you to store all the code that you manually edit and handle and work with in GitHub. GitHub is something you already have because you set it up to be able to register and replicate. And at GitHub, you can sign up completely for free and you can create so-called repositories. And in a repository, you can store code, and then the code is displayed in a nice way, and you can also edit it there and you can download it, and it just makes the handling of your code so much easier. Because of that, I also recommend that to you, and I show you now how I personally do that. So when you go to your GitHub account and then to repositories, you can click up here to new, and then you can create a new repository. You just give it a name, and then you click here, create repository. Make sure that it is private because otherwise anyone can see it. When you click on that, it gets created. And then you come to the following screen, exactly that one. You see, I created a repository that I call 30-day challenge. And then you click here to creating a new file. Then you can enter code. And now you go back to ChatGPT and you get your website code. So we start with the HTML of the website, the upper code. We just make a copy. We go back to GitHub and I paste it in. You see, it was a good estimation. I estimated around 500 lines of code. It is 428. And now our entire website code is here. Then we have to give it a name. I just call it index.html. Why do I call it like that? This is just how typically the main website is called, but you can also give it any other name. I just recommend you to go with that and to just keep it the same whatever you are building. It just makes your life easier. And now you also have these nice colors, you see, and this makes it just super easy to work with the code. And I just recommend you to also copy the code here to GitHub, because whatever we have to change manually now, it is way easier to do it here. And then we click here to commit changes. Yes, this is exactly what we want to do. And we hit here commit changes. All right, and now you see you already have the first file in your GitHub repo, index.html. And when you click it, you have the entire website code, and you can also download it by clicking on that button. I go back to the repo. And then we go here to add file and create new file, because we also need the JavaScript. So we give it a name right away. We call it main.javascript.js. And now we just have to get the JavaScript. So going back to ChatGPT, we make a copy of that and I paste it in here. So this is our JavaScript. Also, that is 175 lines of code, not too much. And we hit here commit changes. Also that we just accept, and that's it. Now we have our two files stored here in the 30-day challenge GitHub repo. I recommend you to do the same, because from now on we can just go back there, change the code a little bit, download it, upload it to the server. It makes everything just nice, clean and organized. And trust me, you need a nice, clean and organized way of working. Otherwise, you are already cooked right from the start. All right, this is everything that I wanted to show you today, because now you learned how to create a website in general with ChatGPT. And tomorrow we will deploy that website to your own server and to your domain. And then step by step, everything comes together. That's it for today's tutorial. Let me know in the comments if that worked for you or if you have any questions. And of course, don't forget to head over to challenge.germanaicreator.com, because there you can download all the resources, all the prompts completely for free. Also, feel free to post your results on Instagram, tag me, and of course also invite other people to the challenge. That's it for today. We see us tomorrow. Take care and goodbye.